Okay, so I just came out of the garage and it's all dried up from spraying the Tester's Dull Coat. Now, Tester's Dull Coat on the Garage Kit colors, whenever you use like the transparencies with the flesh tones, it sort of brings out the transparencies back a little bit more. I guess it's just the way the reaction to the paint goes, which is kind of cool. It kind of melts it a little bit. But what I got to do is I got to go back in and I got to start hitting some colors. But I'm going to go back in again with the sandstone, and I'm going to add some more of the sandstone and some shadows, and then I'll do it again with the Payne's Gray, and then I'll do the white again. It seems like I'm just going to stick with these three colors for this specific paint up because I just like the way they're looking. Like I said, I keep building and building and building until I get it to where I want, but this time going around I want to be doing more finer details, so it's going to be kind of hard to have the camera in the way. But it's just a matter of, like I said, just building. But certain areas got too dark now. I got to bring those back out with some white. I want to add a little bit more of the sandstone in there too, just to give more of that yellowish green a little bit, I guess you can say, in there. Just to give a little bit more color here and there, and just build it up a little bit more. Alright, so I added some more of the sandstone. I think I'm pretty good with the sandstone. So next I'm going to go back to the Payne's Gray, and I'm going to start trying to hit some really darker areas, like maybe up in there, around the hair, in between the breasts, underneath the arms. Hit some darker areas, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing some of the highlights with the white, and should pretty much be close to finished. If there's anything I really have to do detailing, I'll do it off camera because I can't have the camera in the way. But we're pretty much getting there. We're building it up. We're giving her that, Black Lantern look, the death look. It's not crazy pure white with just a simple shade, but it's not like, skin tone with all these different colors. We're kind of trying to find that pale death look, which is, I'm getting there, I'm liking it, so I just got to keep toying with it. Alright guys, so off camera I did a little bit more detailing, so you can see there's a little bit more blending into the face area, the arms, the legs. The face has got a little bit more sinister look. I gave some more shadowing under the eyes. I brought out the cheekbones and nose and chin a little bit. The arms, the legs, the booty shot for you, the back muscles. Now, I didn't go too crazy with deep shadowing, but I did give her enough that she's gonna look, that Black Lantern look. I did a little bit more shading around in here. There's a couple more spots I might hit here and there. Not sure yet. I'm kind of like letting the paint dry a little bit more, but there's a couple I'm going to hit. The next step is, this is white paint, and this Garage Kit's white paint is a little bit more chalky than other type of paints. But then again, white paint is always chalky, unless you get like a clear coat, clear gloss white. Now, I like to protect it. Now, Tester's Dull Coat will seal it and give it a nice coat, but it really doesn't protect it. And since this is such a big statue, and I'm going to do a lot of masking, I got to ship it, I got to pack it. I want to make sure that the paint's going to be secured. So, Duplicolor clear coat finish. It's basically just a clear top coat you get at any auto parts store. I'm going to coat her in this, but I'm going to do it far away. So this is the can right here. I'm going to do it kind of like, far and mist it onto her. But mist it as an even. But when you do this misting of the stuff, it'll give it a coat, but it won't gloss it up right away, but it will give it a little bit of a sheen. But if you go another coat and you go closer, yeah, you can give it a really gloss coat and she would look like shiny as all hell, which I don't want to do. But I want to give it enough where she's protecting and she can, be still kind of like that flattish look. So then after I'm done with that, I'll do the flat top coat from Garage Kits to dull that down a little bit. Now I could go heavy on this since it's white paint. I could go a little bit heavier and really dull it down with this if I need to. But the main goal too is I want to gloss heavy in here, and I want to gloss a little bit heavy under here, because when you put the gloves, the bracelets with the hands in, this paint, that's hitting the paint, and we don't want it to stick and hit it and chip it. We want to give it a nice coat strong enough. So I'm going to go into the garage. I'm going to do that. But I might hit one area or two with just some white paint. I just think I need to hit now while this is dried up. And then we'll come back and we'll dull it down. And then after that, we'll pull off all the silly putty and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so pulled off all the silly putty, did some touch-ups here and there, still got some more to do, but it's easier to do it off camera, up close, but it gives you an idea of where we're at. So, I know in the beginning of the video I said I was going to use all these paints, but I only wound up using 3, Payne's Gray, Sandstone, and just white, but that's the way I paint. Everything evolves. You start testing colors, you start testing this, that, and you just realize that this color's working, that color's not working. I want to use these colors. This is what I'm doing. So it's always, like I say, never have a formula. It's just the way it works out. So pulled off all the silly putty. Got to touch up some areas here and there of stuff, but I like the way it's working, looking good. And as you can kind of see, we got a nice, Black Lantern flesh tone, but it's not like, screaming flesh, regular, just alive flesh, but she's not like dead, and it's not like really, dark and gray. It's kind of like that middle ground what I was going for, where it's kind of that white, but we got some flavor to her basically. So worked out pretty cool. Now, just to go 2 things that I got to do. Of course, I got to do the forehead up here in some of the flesh tone, but I left that for last. Do that later when I'm ready to do the hair. And then when I did the masking, to give you guys an idea, the reason why I had silly putty coming all the way down to here is because if you just do silly putty here and you do silly putty here, you will get a seam line, as you can see here. And when you get a seam line like that, up in here, you have to sit under here and you have to sand it down and it's a pain. But if you get it down here, or as I did over here, but I sanded it down already a little bit, it's easier to actually, get down here. It's easier to take your sandpaper and sand that seam off than to actually try and sit in here or to get under in here and then wind up scratching the chrome. So it's also planning your masking too. It makes life easier. So if you ever do silly putty and you do get the seam line going, it's always easier to bring it down, bring it with this little line here. And then you make your life easier to sand that down. So then when you paint this area black, you don't have to worry about that piece sitting there. Of course, I gotta sand down in here, as you can see, but it's easier now for me to sit here and sand under in here than to try to get really close to the chrome, or it's just easier. So that's just one last thing about masking and making life easier once you paint up. But there she is. So I also did a video series on customizing the base, and I also did a video series on customizing the hair. Be sure to check that out. I'll link it in the video. And then hopefully you guys like this little simple tutorial with just 3 different colors and getting a really cool look of a character. And hopefully you guys liked it. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back once this she's all done and you can check out the 360 video.